Hiya! Welcome! So if you cast your mind back to my last New Order and related collection haul video, I said that there wouldn't be a fourth part, probably, but I couldn't 100% rule it out. Well, this is pretty much part 4 of that originally 3, now 4-part series. Nothing that's actually by New Order here to show you, but there is loads from all the New Order spin-offs or side projects, satellite groups, whatever you want to call them. It's almost all singles, but there is an album in there somewhere in this massive pile of mailers I've got here, just down off camera. Yeah, it's still collection hole filling really, but I've got as far as I think I can get for the moment with my New Order singles collection, 7 and 12-inch vinyl I'm talking about, in the last few videos. And I thought I'd start on the side projects, you know, Electronic, Revenge. Well, you'll see as we get going. I think I've got at least one thing by all the major, what I would consider the major New Order side projects here. Some of this stuff I did used to have on CD single back in the day. I don't anymore. I've got all New Order's singles on CD and Joy Division, the re-releases and things like that as well. Whether I'll want to get any of those on CD again, I think the vinyl is going to be good enough because there's some doubling up in this one video here on both 7 and 12-inch. Look, there's so much to get through. I don't even know exactly how much I've got to show you here. It's a lot, so I need to just stop waffling and get on with it. We'll get into this first mailer here. This is a bunch of eBay pickups. It's mostly 7-inch singles, but there is a 12-inch in here as well. Chuck that out of the way. I'm going to struggle to remember individual prices here. I'll try and remember the best I can, but yeah, don't hold your breath, in other words. Right then, first of all, 7-inch single, Electronic, Getting Away With It. The debut single from Electronic. These aren't in any order of when I purchased them either. So there we go, it's got the, what do they call it, Silver Injection Centre label there. B-side of Getting Away With It is Lucky Bag. I know that was pretty cheap, and I think it might have been with this next two in like a little bundle as well, actually. Follow up to Getting Away With It is Get the Message. Similar centre label there. Get the Message backed with Free Will. And I'm going through these really fast, but you'll see why when you see the amount of stuff that I've got here. Disappointed, this features Neil Tennant. In fact, Getting Away With It has Neil Tennant on backing vocals, but Tennant provides the lead vocals on this one. On the Parlophone and Factory label, as it came out around the time, Factory was basically shutting up Sharp, so it was kind of like a dual label release. On the other side of Disappointed is Idiot Country 2 Edit, remix of Idiot Country, which did feature on the eponymous debut Electronic album. By the way, Electronic, I should have mentioned it, but most of you will know anyway. New Order's Bernard Sumner and the Smiths' Johnny Marr, and they collaborated with certain other people throughout the years, such as the Pet Shop Boys, or specifically Neil Tennant in this case, and also Carl Bartos from Kraftwerk. I think this was a purchase on its own on eBay. I made a best offer on it. It was up for a tenner. I offered a £5, free postage, and I got it. It was the first single from the second album, Raise the Pressure. Forbidden City. Doesn't actually say Forbidden City on the front of the sleeve, but trust me, that's what it is. You can actually see the track on side A is Forbidden City there. Backed with Imitation of Life. I had all those on CD single years and years ago, probably around 2004. I did sell pretty much all my entire New Order and related collection, but over the years I built it back up and then some anyway. I'd never part with it again. So 4 7-inches from Electronic on eBay and 1 12-inch. I think this was about £10 and then maybe a couple of pound postage. And this is one of the 12-inch variants for Getting Away With It. The Electro Mix 12-inch to be precise. So it's got on it Getting Away With It vocal remix and Getting Away With It nude mix, and then presumably the side B is Lucky Bag Miami Edit and Getting Away With It original version. Quick look at the centre label there. I don't think I'm going to be showing you much in the way of actual vinyl today, because otherwise this video is going to take forever. That did come with outer protector type thing, but that's one I'd rather use for an album, to be honest, so I'll put that over there. The next mailer, there's just one item in here. Now this is a bit of a grail, to be fair. Really, that's kind of just shorthand for something that's way too expensive. I've kind of wanted to get this either on CD single or 12-inch for donkey's years. I don't collect electronic anymore on CD single. I've got the albums on CD, obviously, but as I've been filling these 7 and 12-inch gaps, and the 12-inch of this is a bit cheaper than the CD. In fact, it's a lot cheaper, to be fair, but it's still expensive. Let me get it open, I'll show you. This is from Hard to Find Records. They were sites I discovered via Discogs. I just looked on the profile, saw that they had a website, a good website as well, highly recommended. And they were a little bit cheaper direct on the website as well. So I went and bought it on there, but it was, are you ready, for a single, a 12-inch single. This was £80. I think about £3 something in postage. They did send it via FedEx, so it would have been well insured, and it came really quick, like 2 days I think. Believe it or not, the CD single, which has got totally different mixes of this on it, goes for about, I've seen it, the cheapest on Discogs at the moment is about £250. So £80 for the 12-inch, even though it's a different single really, because it's different mixes on each. Feels, in comparison, a bit of a bargain. Anyway, this is Until the End of Time. So this was a single taken from Electronic's second album, Raise the Pressure, but it was only a mail order only single, and I missed out on it. I was collecting Electronic singles as and when they were coming out, and in one of them it would have been either the For You single or the Second Nature single, CD single. There would have been like a little postcard, you know, the sort of thing. You used to get them in CDs all the time back in the 90s. There'd have been a little postcard where you fill your details out, and then it was like, we're offering you Until the End of Time on CD or 12-inch. Please pay such a price and send your money via cheque or postal order to us. I never saw that because I would have obviously bought that, but I've got the 12-inch. I don't actually know if the 12-inch ever officially came out for consumers. The CD single definitely did. This is classed as a promo on the Discogs database. Maybe the CD single's classed as a promo as well, because it was never out in shops. It was a mail order thing. I think you could buy this via mail order, but the CD you definitely could. Yeah, it always came in a generic black sleeve, by the way. Let me see if I can read what's on it. So this side is the dub mix and the 7-inch mix, which is actually side B, and then the other side, which is side A, is the 12-inch mix and the 12-inch version. And there's completely different mixes on the CD, but I don't think I'll ever own that. But if I ever do decide, I will start collecting Electronic and other spin-offs on CD single again after all these years, then I'll be wanting it. But at the moment, the 7 and 12-inch singles are fine. Right then, so that was a rather expensive purchase. Let's never speak of the price again. And we move on to, a pickup from Dig Vinyl. So this was actually 3 records, but I'm only going to show you one, because the other 2 have got nothing to do with New Order or their side projects, and you'll be seeing those in the next records roundup. In fact, no, you'll be seeing one of them in the next records roundup, which is coming in a few days, and you'll see the other one in the records roundup afterwards. I'll explain a bit more about that in records roundup 69, so let's not get bogged down with that detail. So just one in here. I think it's a 12-inch single, if memory serves. Yes, it is. And once again, it's Getting Away With It. So there we go, look. I've completed the Getting Away With It section of the collection already with the 12-inch, and then you saw the alternate 12-inch, the Electro Mix earlier, and the 7-inch. Tracks on here: Getting Away With It Extended, with Getting Away With It full length, and Lucky Bag. Lovely stuff. The price of this, by the way, I think this was about £11.50 thereabouts, but it was bought with 2 other items. Right then, another mailer already open, as you can see. This one is from Rare Vinyl, also known as EIL.com. This is just one order, but there's I think 3 things in here. I will double check, because I've bought so much it's easy to lose count. Yeah, just 3 things. So another 7-inch single to start, and it's Feel Every Beat. So this was the 3rd and final single from the eponymous debut album by Electronic. It's all been electronic so far, hasn't it? We get a change in group next, so don't worry, it's not all this one duo here. Side A, Feel Every Beat 7-inch remix, and side B, Lean to the Inside. Needless to say, all these tracks I am familiar with, and most of the mixes. There'll be some mixes, like I think a couple on the Until the End of Time single that I haven't heard before. So, you know, it's not like it's all samey and it's stuff I've got in my collection already. It is for the most part, but there is some stuff that will be brand new in my collection, as it were. So yeah, I'm not going to bother getting that open there. I can't remember the price. I think this total order did have 15% off actually at Rare Vinyl. They sent me a code and I just thought, yeah, blow it, I'll buy some spin-off stuff. So the next one is not electronic, it's Revenge. Revenge were Peter Hook's first side project when New Order had a bit of a break in the early 90s on Factory Records. None of their singles or their album charted in what you'd call the top 75 or the top 100 even. So a bit of a flop really, but they made some good music. This one here is a 12-inch single, I'm Not Your Slave plus Amsterdam. Can't see, I could put my glasses on, but I think I'd still have to get it out of this protector anyway, and I don't want to do that. So yeah, but I'm Not Your Slave is one track on here. Amsterdam, which is a cover of a Velvet Underground song, I think, is another, and there might be another mix of Slave on there as well, but you're going to see something that's almost identical to this later on anyway, so I won't spend too long on it. And then the final thing from Rare Vinyl is the only album to show you today. It's an album I have got on CD. I've got like an updated and expanded reissue of it that came out via James Nice's LTM Records some years ago. But as I'm doubling up on everything, New Order, I wanted this on vinyl. And unlike certain other stuff, like the second electronic album, for instance, is an absolute fortune on vinyl. Monaco's debut album, Music for Pleasure, the original pressing of that is extortionate, but that has been reissued, and you may well see that in Records Roundup 69 in a few days. But this one is the first and only, actually, studio album from Revenge, One True Passion. This was the most expensive thing. It was a little bit cheaper with certain Discogs sellers. I think I could have got it for around a tenner, whereas this one, with the 15% discount, it was probably between around 18 and 20. But it looked a nice condition copy, this, and Rare Vinyl, I trust them. You know, they've been dealing in second-hand records for as long as I can remember. I won't bang on too much about it, and I know the album because I've got it. I've got a reissue version of it on CD, but I'm glad that I've got it on vinyl while it was still a fairly reasonable thing to have in its original form. Alright, we move on now to... God, this is an heavy mailer. I think all the rest of this stuff is Discog stuff now. There's a lot. I mean, this one is so heavy. It's not all from the one person, by the way. I just crammed a load of different orders in this mailer, and then I decided I'd need to put some more in another one because there's so much stuff here. I've lost count of exactly how much stuff I'm getting. Maybe as I'm editing this video near the end, I'll put up how many records I actually showed in this video. I think it's going to be a record, pardon the term. It's going to be a new record for me as to the amount that I've shown in one single video. Right then, I told you we'd have something similar to I'm Not Your Slave and Amsterdam 12-inch, because we've got basically the 7-inch, just called Slave, but I'm Not Your Slave is the same song, just the different mix, different edit, and a longer title. Slave on side A, Amsterdam on side B. Next up, this might look a little bit familiar to people who saw my Record Store Day related Records Roundup a few weeks ago. But this is the 7-inch version of Tasty Fish by the Other Two. This is the only Other Two record, I think, that I'm showing you today. Everything else is pretty much Bernard Sumner and Peter Hook projects, whereas this is, of course, Gillian Gilbert and Stephen Morris. Yeah, I bought the 12-inch Record Store Day blue vinyl reissue, and I saw that the 7-inch of this was pretty cheap. There's others. There's the follow-up single that I'd like to get. There was a US-only single also, so I will be keeping my eye open. But for now, Tasty Fish is my solitary 7-inch single from the other two. I meant to mention at the start of the video, by the way, there is a couple of like promos. I mean, Until the End of Time, I think maybe classed as a promo, but there's a couple of proper promos, at least a couple actually, coming up. And I did say back in, it would have been part 1 or part 2 of this series, that I wasn't necessarily looking for promos, but some stuff only came out in like a promotional form. It wasn't released as a proper single, so that's why you'll be seeing certain promos in this. Right, moving on. One of my favourite names for an EP, Gunworld Porn. Just a really kind of dumb name, really. Probably Peter Hook's idea of a joke, or he just couldn't be bothered to think of anything slightly more cerebral, really. But yeah, this was the final Revenge release. Nice condition copy, this, actually. 4-track EP, Deadbeat, Cloud9 on side A, and State of Shock and Little Pig on side B. I don't think I ever had this on CD. Oh, I did actually. I used to have the American import CD. But all the other Revenge singles that you'll be seeing, I never had them on CD. I only had the album and this EP, but the American version back in the day. But yeah, I've got this back into the collection on proper UK vinyl, of course, because it's the factory records, barcode and all the rest of it. Gunworld Porn. Next up, more Revenge, Pineapple Face. Little look at the centre label there. Not there's much to see really. What I do like about some of these Revenge sleeves is how big the text is on the back, so I don't need to keep putting my glasses on to read what's on these singles. But this is a 12-inch single, obviously. Pineapple Face's Big Day and 14K full-length version. And presumably just the solitary track on side B is Pineapple Face's Revenge. There we go. As with all of these, until I say otherwise, they're all UK releases and originals. Right then, here's a promo, the first promo to show you. Never knew this was out actually, or available, until I'd started looking for electronic singles. But a really nice little item, this. It's a 10-inch single, it's a promo single of Prodigal Son, which was from Electronic's third and so far final studio album, Twisted Tenderness. So it's basically clear vinyl, released in 1999, so a little bit unusual to have kind of clear vinyl. It existed, obviously, in the late 90s, but I mean, vinyl as a thing just wasn't particularly popular back then, was it? What's on this? 4 mixes of Prodigal Son. I get the feeling a couple of them I've heard and a couple of them I haven't actually ever heard before, so that's nice. Yeah, it's an unusual sleeve, but I do like it. It's sort of transparent and it's quite thick PVC. Yeah, I do like 10-inch singles as well. I don't get many of them, so to get that, and it wasn't much money, this. I don't think it was much more than £10, so I'm very pleased with that. We move on. So much, isn't there? Vivid. Vivid is the first single from Twisted Tenderness. I did have this on CD single when it came out in '99. Now I have it on 12-inch. Side A, track 1, Vivid Radio Edit. Side 2, Prodigal Son, Two Lone Swordsman mix, and that might be duplicated on that. Actually, it's the Two Lone Swordsman instrumental that's on the Prodigal Son promo. And the solitary track on side B is Prodigal Son, Harvey's a Star in Your Own Mind. Yeah, that is the same track as what's on the Prodigal Son promo. Yeah, that's all you're going to see of that one. Vivid, good track. I like all this. Oh, another 7-inch. See, it's all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason for these at all, really. I've kind of tried to group them all together, like eBay stuff at the start, Discogs stuff at the end, and everything else in the middle. But this one is What Do You Want From Me by Monaco. So Monaco, of course, David Potts, who was in Revenge at least towards the later period of their run, and Peter Hook, of course. This was their debut single, big radio hit. It got played a lot. It should have made the top 10, really. It stalled at number 11. I say stalled, 11's not a bad position for the day. But really, it should have been a top 10 hit because this is so catchy. It's one of the catchiest singles of the decade, really. There we go. So yeah, it was classed as, well, it says coloured vinyl. On Discogs it said red. To me, and it might look different on camera, admittedly, to me it's like a kind of translucent pink. It's nice, it's really attractive actually. You don't really get sort of that shade of pink vinyl. But yeah, I'm sure it was classed as red, and it probably looks more red on camera actually. The B-side to that is Bicycle Thief. Good song. They did play that live when I saw them back in '97. We keep going, still got stuff to show you. This one is, I think, 7 Reasons by Revenge. This might have been their debut single. 12-inch, obviously. I get the feeling that isn't probably the original inner there, but that doesn't matter. Can't see what's on it without putting my glasses on, and I'm not going to even try and tell you. That's 7 Reasons from the album One True Passion. Get the Message by Electronic. You saw the 7-inch earlier, also got the 12-inch. I think this is the only 12-inch variant that came out. I'll no doubt double check. I'm always double checking, like with my New Order and related collection, see if there's variants that have passed me by or I've missed. But Get the Message and Free Will. Another double, another duplicate of sorts, like Get the Message and Getting Away With It is of course Disappointed. The 7-inch I showed you earlier. This one is the 12-inch. On side A, it's Disappointed 12-inch remix, Disappointed original mix, and on side B, it's Idiot Country 2, but not the edit, which is on the 7-inch version. Lovely. Right, we have got 2 more mailers to go. This one has already been opened and I've shoved another buttload of stuff in it. And the final one only came in the post today, so we'll be opening that on camera. You should see my sofa, it's full of cardboard. Some of it's going to slide off any minute. Right then, let's get these out. There's a promo here that's staring at me. I'll show you the promo first actually. I'm not going to get it out of this rather tatty protective sleeve. Just to save time, but this is Seesaw. So this was a promo 12-inch, double 12-inch actually. It got separated out, and as you can probably tell, it is 2 12-inch singles, but a promo that never came out as an official single from Monaco's second album, their self-titled album. Just 1 track on each side, but it is a double 12-inch, only out on this format. This was pretty cheap. I think these are quite common, to say the promo singles really. Right, moving on, sticking with Monaco, and here's another 7-inch. The only other 7-inch I think they ever released besides What Do You Want From Me. This is Shine, brackets Someone Who Needs Me. And the B-side on this is the Excellent, Coming Around Again. Monaco were pretty good at B-sides, I have to say. Lovely stuff. Next is, I will take this out of the protector, I think. It's not a very pleasant one. I'll chuck that out, I think. This one is Monaco's second single, Sweet Lips. I think this is the only UK 12-inch version that came out. It didn't come out on 7-inch, I don't think, and I'm doubting myself now, because I've just bought so much and got so much here. And some of it is doubled, obviously. Very small text there. It's mixes of Sweet Lips, I know that. There might be, yeah, I think there is an exclusive B-side, Shattered, which I don't think appeared on the album Music for Pleasure. There we go. Always like that sleeve as well, great sleeve. And Sweet Lips, another great single from Monaco. I think it got top 20, if memory serves, like What Do You Want From Me did. A quick slurp and then back to it with more from Electronic. Yes, you haven't seen the last of these chaps. And this one is the 12-inch for Feel Every Beat. I'm going to chuck that protector out as well. Oh, it's got a little Danny Rampling Remixers hype sticker on it. On the, I was going to say on the back. Is it the back? Yeah, I think that is classed as the back. It's hard to tell with Electronic singles, like either of those go the front or back really. Side A, Feel Every Beat 12-inch remix. Side B, Feel Every Beat dub mix and Lean to the Inside. Got an absolute massive pile of New Order spin-off stuff starting to take mountainous form there on top of one of my record flight cases. Right then, finally we've got this mail opening to do. 3 singles in here, all from the same seller. Obviously this came in the post today. I've not talked about prices for a long time, and to be fair, I can't really remember the vast majority. Obviously I remember the price up until the end of time, so I'm hardly likely to forget paying that much for a bloody single. But these are from Discogs still, obviously. Yet another load of cardboard. There we go, it's fallen off, or some cardboard's fallen off the sofa. I'll be feeding my recycling bin a load in a bit. Right then, another of these 10-inch promos. This was the other 10-inch promo that came out for Electronics Twisted Tenderness. This one is Make It Happen, and on it is, on side A, Make It Happen Original Mix, Make It Happen Darren Price Mix. Side B, Prodigal Son Kevin Fisher Mix. I think that's all that's on side B. Yes, it's 3-track 10-inch promo here. Once again, this really thick PVC sleeve here and clear 10-inch vinyl. I think these are the first clear 10-inch discs I've got, actually. Is there a Rammstein single I've got that might be 10-inch and clear? I've definitely got Rammstein on 10-inch, but I think it's black. Anyway, Make It Happen. 2 more to go. Second Nature, the mixers. I had this as a 2 CD set, CD single, back in the 90s. This was probably the single on CD where you would have supposedly got the little postcard to order the Until the End of Time mail order exclusive. I never got that little postcard. I don't think I've got any of these mixers, to be honest, of Second Nature. I've heard everything else in relation to the single and the track, but on side A, Second Nature Transatlantic Dub, and then side B, Sweet Remix and Plastic Mix. Nice. And finally, wow, look at the time. Actually, I've gone a little bit quicker than I expected to. I know we've still gone on a while, and thank you for bearing with me. But last one, it is another Get the Message 12-inch. Yeah, I forgot that there was a 12-inch variant for this, similar to how there was 2 variants for Getting Away With It. But this one is basically the DNA remixes of Get the Message. Just 2 tracks on here. On side 1, the Groove Mix, and on side 2, the Sin Mix. There you go. Right, maybe I'll have flashed up a number on screen now to tell you exactly how many records I showed throughout this. That's assuming that I remember to count them during editing, because I sure as shit didn't count them as I was showing you during filming. But thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this look at a load more stuff from my New Order collection, albeit none of it actually credited to New Order as a group. I said there wouldn't be a part 4, or probably wouldn't be. There was. There isn't going to be a part 5. Like I say, there's bits and bobs that I'm still keeping an eye out for, but it's also few and far between now that anything I show you relating to New Order now will be in a records roundup, most likely. So special thanks go, as they always do, to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now. I'm going to put all those singles away. Well, I'm not going to put them away because I'm going to listen to them all. I'll listen to everything that I get, even though these are really collection pieces more than anything that I really needed to own in relation to the actual music, because the majority of it, not all, but the majority of it I do already have predominantly on compact disc. Anyway, I'm going to go and do that, and I do hope that all of you will join me again next time in a few days' time for Records Roundup 69 and for all subsequent record collecting videos. Cheers everyone. See ya!